Our video called Magicians Prove a Spiritual World Exists covers how the world's top magicians perform preternatural feats with the assistance of evil spirits.
He put some cards on a pool table and they just miraculously opened like it was some evil wizard. They just sprung open like that. And then my card flipped out.
It proves that there is a spiritual world and a spiritual battle being waged for souls. There has been a lot of positive feedback on the video. However, there has also been skepticism and unbelief from some, including from some who claim to be Catholic. Frankly, since many of those people don't have supernatural faith, they simply can't accept that even the top magicians in the world do anything, except for natural acts of trickery or deception. The acts covered in the video clearly show that they are wrong. However, in this video I want to cite a few Catholic saints who long ago taught and acknowledged that magicians can and do perform quasi-miracles or preternatural feats with the assistance of demonic spirits. Of course, this is revealed in the book of Exodus. Concerning this matter, St. Thomas Aquinas states, quote, Augustine says, often by means of the magic art miracles are wrought, like those which are wrought by the servants of God. I answer that if we take a miracle in the strict sense, the demons cannot work miracles, nor can any creature but God alone, since in the strict sense a miracle is something done outside the order of the entire created nature, under which order every power of a creature is contained. But sometimes miracle may be taken in a wide sense for whatever exceeds human power and experience. And thus demons can work miracles, that is, things which rouse man's astonishment, by reason of their being beyond his power and outside his sphere of knowledge. It is to be noted, however, that although these works of demons which appear marvelous to us are not real miracles, they are sometimes nevertheless something real. Thus the magicians of Pharaoh by the demon's power produced real serpents and frogs. End quote. St. Thomas Aquinas also states, so when the demons do anything of their own natural power, these things are called miracles not in an absolute sense, but in reference to ourselves. In this way the magicians work miracles through the demons, and these are said to be done by private contracts.
Were you born with magical powers?
Well, I sold my soul a long time ago.
Good.
It was incredible. I mean, it was happening right in front of our eyes, like this close. How on earth did you do this?
I sold my soul a long time ago.
In his work on the Incarnation, St. Athanasius also mentions magicians and their connection to demons. He refers to the magic esteemed among the Egyptians and others. He says that it inspired awe in those who saw it, but that by the presence of Christ it has been confuted. He also says, quote, in the very presence of the deceit of demons and the imposture of oracles and the marvels of magic, let him use the sign of the cross which is laughed at among them, and he shall see how by its means demons fly, oracles cease, all magic and witchcraft is brought to naught. End quote. The 17th century St. John Eudes said this about demonic magicians, quote, those who hold communication with him, that is the devil, such as sorcerers, magicians, or those who cure diseases, extinguish fires, and do other similar acts by his operation. End quote. As we can see, the saint acknowledges that magicians can do many things by the operation of the devil.
You know, idle hands of the devil's playground, and we got along very well.
See you in hell.
It must be kept in mind, however, that the devil and his demons can only do what God allows them to do. St. Alphonsus Liguori, doctor of the Church, refers to how Simon, mentioned in Acts 8, was called the magician, because he made use of spells to deceive the multitude, and hence he acquired among his countrymen the extraordinary name of, quote, the great power of God, end quote.
You know, it's funny, even in this day and age, they still think magicians use their sleeves. So all you do is cast a spell, and there's the air is so hot.
The missionaries to North America, such as St. Isaac Jogues, 17th century, witnessed the following feats of pagan shamans, who are similar to magicians. Quote, the deadliest obstacles the missionaries found to their efforts to Christianize the Hurons were the multitudinous forms of superstition, sorcery, and devil worship. Controlling and an essential part of this system of preternatural influences were the sorcerers. All of the sorcerers claimed a preternatural origin and boasted of being in communication with the spirits. The missionaries discovered that many of their practices were trickery and charlatanism, but attributed others to the direct intervention of the devil. The cabins and huts where they held their seances were oftentimes violently shaken. They themselves would stuff live coals into their mouths without being burned, or would thrust their arms into boiling water without being scalded. The rites and ceremonies they conducted were so indecent and revolting that they surpassed unaided human invention. End quote. As we can see, some things they did were trickery and charlatanism. However, other acts went beyond that and were performed with the assistance of evil spirits. The same is true of modern magicians. They do some things involving trickery and sleight of hand, but as our video shows, almost all of the top magicians do many things that go beyond trickery and sleight of hand. Those acts are definitely accomplished with the assistance of demonic spirits. Those acts further demonstrate the existence of a spiritual world and the reality of a spiritual battle. The fact that so many magicians in our day are doing those kinds of acts is a sign of how wicked the world has become and how active God has allowed the devil to be as a result of the sins of men. Those who simply can't believe that modern magicians are doing certain things with demonic assistance simply lack supernatural faith. They also dismiss Catholic teaching and tradition, which, as we saw, acknowledges that magicians and other evil people can do such things if permitted by God. To give just one example, there are many magicians who have cards just simply appear in their hands, even though people can see the front and back of their hands, and there's nowhere they could naturally be storing or holding the cards. That's not a trick. That's done with the assistance of spirits. If you think that's a trick or purely natural, then you are just blind. And as a result of faithlessness, you cannot perceive reality. You cannot see things as they are. You convince yourself of what is not real because you refuse to believe. There are also many videos that faithless people put online which claim to explain how top magicians in a purely natural way perform such feats that are clearly done with the assistance of evil spirits. But if you carefully and honestly analyze those videos which attempt to explain the acts away, you can see that they do not actually replicate what the magician did, or really explain how the magician did it in a natural way. They claim to explain it, but they don't. However, since many people are inclined to unbelief, the mere existence of a supposed explanation, even if it doesn't truly explain how the act was performed in a natural way, is sufficient for many to dismiss it all as natural. Those people are blind, faithless, and deceived. Moreover, even if people want to argue about one or two acts, there are thousands of things that top magicians do which can only be done with the assistance of spirits. The truth is that in our day and in front of multitudes, magicians do the equivalent of what Pharaoh's evil magicians did in the book of Exodus. However, few recognize them for what they are and what's really going on because the vast majority of the world lies in darkness. Our video exposes what's really happening. There are other saints that could be quoted on this matter, but these should suffice to demonstrate the point. Also, a new and final version of the video Magicians Prove a Spiritual World Exists will be posted very soon, God willing, but not here on YouTube. To view it, you should go to endtimes.video.